Here to discuss the offensive against Hamas and the possible release of more hostages is former advisor to NATO, Omar Khadrat, as well as Omar is a former U.S. DoD official, former counterterrorism prosecutor, and the founder of the Muslim Coalition for America, and former CIA protective agent for the Global Response, Alex Coker. Alex, I want to get to you first. What do you make of what's happening today, and what do you make of having these U.S. senators being over there today? And what we're watching is they are going to take the stand here momentarily.
I give Israel a lot of credit for the patience that they have right now. I'd be chomping at the bits, ready to get some payback to the Hamas for the slaughter that they did to their own people. It's a nightmare over there. Urban warfare is one of the worst things you could possibly fight up against, because they got to worry about innocent civilians, and they also got to worry about the hostages that are out there as well. They don't know exactly where they're at. Israel is doing the right things right now with doing the artillery prep, and also the airstrikes to soften up the areas of the strongholds. And they're going to have to go in there with, heavy armor, such as tanks, and also armed personnel carriers to protect those troops. There's a lot of IEDs that are going to be set up. The longer we wait, there's going to be more IEDs, more booby traps. A sniper's paradise is going to go on up there. And unfortunately, the Israelis and the Hamas are both going to take heavy casualties. And then you also got to worry about the tunnels that are down below. That's a whole different world of fighting as well.
Omar, I want to get your reaction to that. We talk about these tunnels. How complicated of a mission is this going to be for Israel to go in and do this ground attack?
Well, this is going to be very complicated. Some might argue that it'll be more complicated than the urban warfare we saw in Iraq. There are going to be booby traps, suicide bombing, defended positions where civilians are. As we saw in multiple places across the world, terrorist networks like to use their own domestic population as a tool in warfare, where they can essentially killing a Jew is a win, and a Palestinian being dead is a win for terrorist networks as well. So this is going to be very complicated. Israel's got to, I think, understand that because this could get more complicated with Iran igniting some of their proxies, not just out of Lebanon, but in Syria, there's a window of opportunity to try to destroy Hamas as quickly as possible before Iran tries to extend Israel's resources and military capabilities across other fronts.
Is it possible, Omar, to have this war be contained here without it spreading to other regions, or is that something that is likely going to happen?
Unfortunately, the pace and tempo of this conflict has always been controlled by Iran. And so it's going to be Iran that has the command and control over the proxies that will ultimately answer that question, whether this fight expands or not. President Biden has positioned assets, increased assets in the region, and essentially sent a message to all other actors: don't jump in, to try to give that space to Israel to destroy Hamas. Iran will most certainly test the United States, test the president's will, and escalate, and then see exactly how much space they have to expand this conflict. But my read on the situation is, yes, Iran would like to expand this conflict right now.
Let's play a soundbite here from President Joe Biden. He was asked about the possibly delay in the Israeli ground invasion. Listen to this.
Mr. President, are you going to delay? Are you encouraging the Israelis to delay invasion?
Talking to Israel.
Alex, what's your reaction to the president's comments there?
I don't. Like I said, Israelis should go in there, because the longer they wait, more prepped up Hamas is going to be inside Gaza, setting up more IEDs, more booby traps, setting up sniper hides and such. I can tell you this, thank God for America that has the Second Amendment that allows, everyday citizen to be armed to protect their home and to protect their area. Because, when seconds count, cops and also the military now are hours away from being able to help the everyday citizen. Israel is just now realizing they need to loosen up their gun laws and allow the everyday citizen to be able to protect themselves, because you don't know when it's going to happen. You got to always prepare for the worst and hope for the best in every situation. Here's the other point. If the Palestinians handle their own business inside Gaza, and when someone set up rockets and mortars outside of a school or out in the city streets, if they went ahead and killed those terrorists that are trying to lob those things over to Israel, we wouldn't have this problem right now. Palestinians need to clean their own house, handle their own business, and we wouldn't be in this situation right now.
Omar, I want to give you the last word before we have to leave.
Yes, so a ceasefire right now, the question is, who would that serve? who would it serve to slow down military operations at this time? I think that if Israel has its heel on the neck of Hamas, slowing down operations is just going to give Hamas an opportunity to regroup, widen the space, and it also will be read, like I said, by regional actors as an opportunity, and they might read into a little bit of weakness. And so I think a ceasefire, while certainly will serve civilians, we need to get aid in there, but that's also going to be complicated because Hamas has commandeered aid in the past. And so unfortunate, very complicated situation. I think my read on the situation is Hamas should be destroyed as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Omar, Alex, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and giving us the insight there.